Mr. Speaker, total expenditure, including provision made for the clearance of arrears, is estimated at 62 billion, equivalent to 25.7% of GDP. The estimated expenditure for the year represents an annual growth of 14.5%. Mr. Speaker, compensation of employees, which continues to represent the single largest item of government expenditure, is estimated at 19.6 billion, 8.1% of GDP. Of this amount, 16.8 billion, Mr. Speaker, equivalent to 6.9% of GDP, has been provisioned for wages and salaries alone. Expenditure on goods and services is estimated at 3.5 billion, representing 1.5% of GDP. The annual growth of 66.9% reflects a full provision made to cater for the government's priority programs, including the flagship Free SHS policy, which enters its second year of implementation in 2018. Mr. Speaker, the debt reprofiling exercise is having positive impact on interest payments. Interest payments are estimated at 14.9 billion, 6.2% of GDP. Of this amount, domestic interest payment constitutes about 82%. As we consolidate our public finances, the annual growth of domestic interest payments is expected to decline considerably. Mr. Speaker, transfers to statutory funds, as well as all other earmarked funds, which are backed by the relevant laws, are estimated at 12.1 billion Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, the object of the statutory funds is to provide secure funding to implement critical programs and projects in the relevant sectors. Over the years, these sectors have been exerting a lot of pressure on the limited available resources despite allocations to the statutory funds. In consonance with the PFM Act 2016 Act 921 and Earmarked Funds Capping and Realignment Act, the earmarked funds will be realigned to national priorities. Mr. Speaker, allocations for development capital expenditure is 6.9 billion. Of this amount, domestically financed capital expenditure is estimated at 3.3 billion, or 1.4% of GDP. This represents an annual growth of about 219%. An amount of 3.6 billion has been budgeted from foreign finance capital expenditure, and this will be funded by a combination of donor project grants and project loans. Overall budget balance and financing for 2018. Mr. Speaker, based on the estimates for total revenue and grants and total expenditures, the 2018 budget will result in an overall budget deficit of 10.9 billion Ghana cedis, equivalent to 4.5% of GDP.